Hello, let's explain the difference between capitalism, socialism, and communism, and social democratic. Is first to understand that democratic republic and monarchy or dictatorship is the same thing. Basically, it's not that has nothing to do with being communism or capitalism. It has to do with the way the government system is set up versus communism or capitalism and socialism. This is different ways of how you make the policies based on economics. So you could have basically a monarchy republic, and you could have a democratic communism. It has nothing to do on each other. So what's the difference? Capitalism defines an open market. The government is small. The government is not involved with anything in financial. Everybody is free to make as much money as they want. And the government, in a real full-fledged capitalist country, the government doesn't give any programs. They're not even involved in schools. Nothing. It's all open market, free market. Socialism and communism is ultimately the same thing. It just played out in two different ways. It's basically the same. It's all about equality. So there's a slight difference between communism and socialism. It's all equality. Now, socialism will say, let's say your house is yours, you own your house, you die, your inheritance could have it. Some socialists say maybe your inheritance shouldn't have it, but as long as you live, it's yours. So people could make a little bit more money than someone else, but basically it's more of the idea that businesses are group owned. It's like employee owned businesses, and everybody has to pay most of their money for taxes, and then the government splits it up between everyone, because the people that don't have jobs and they shouldn't fall out, so they should also make the same amount of money. That's why you have to pay taxes. Communism will say complete equality. You have no ownership of nothing. So everybody, you're hungry, you go to the store, you take food. You need clothing, you take clothing, but the clothing is not yours. You die, the stuff goes straight to the government, to the people, to everyone else, and someone else takes it. No government in the world has ever played out full-fledged communism. Everybody was republic. Even the Soviet Union used to be called the USSR, which stands for United Soviet Socialist Republic. It was a socialist, it was not communist. Because real communism is impossible. It's impossible. Socialism can barely work, but who's talking about communism? It's like literally impossible to make it work. And now, if you want to go in more details about socialism and communism, there's so many books written of different versions of socialism, different versions of communism, that it's just people could read for years, and to get to understand the difference between those people and those people, it's very hard to get into all those details. So you could technically define the idea of equality in multiple different directions. Now, then exists social democratic and neo-capitalism. Neo-capitalism is that the market is open, but there still exists something like income tax, business tax, and the government is a little bit involved in helping the poor, but mostly it's open. The market, you can open whatever business you want, you can run the business the way you want. The government has a slight influence in the business, or not necessarily a slight influence in the business. The government has an influence of taxing and giving to the poor, so not to leave the poor, to let the poor fall behind. That is neo-capitalism. Social democratic is more, the government does have a strong influence in business, and the government could actually own business as well, and the government takes a lot of taxes and gives it to the poor. So, but on the other side, you could have your own business, and everybody's technically qualified to open whatever business they want. It's just very regulated. Now, the United States became neo-capitalism as the years went by. Mostly when it switched was by FDR, by Roosevelt after the Great Depression. That's when people became very frustrated and there was big panic. So people turned a little bit to the neo-capitalist system and went away completely from the capitalist. And as of today, I think the United States, you could say, call it completely a social democratic country, because the government is involved in everything. And most European countries and Canada, they're all social democratic. Now, to talk about which one works better, which one cannot work and everything, hopefully one day I'll make a video about that. I hope you all understand. Enjoy. Have a wonderful day.